Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reverb's Quarantine Kitchen. This is episode 11. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you who are new to the show, Quarantine Kitchen is brand new, obviously, as of quarantine. Normally, Reverb is out on the road with bands like Billie Eilish and Dave Matthews Band and Tame Impala, Harry Styles, a bunch of others. But because music is now, live music at least, is on pause, we thought we'd do something different and bring a little bit of Reverb to you. Quarantine Kitchen is where some of our favorite musicians, celebrities, and other interesting folks are cooking their favorite sustainable recipes. So this will hopefully be useful to you. These are recipes that we want you to replicate at home, that are easy to replicate at home, and also something that hopefully will be kind of interesting for you to check out. For this episode, I could not be more pleased to welcome Maggie Baird. She is a multifaceted, multi-talented woman that I've had the pleasure to get to know since the end of last year. She's a musician, a songwriter, an actress, an activist, a vegan, and apparently a chef. And she's going to cook a little something for us. She's also mother to Billie Eilish and FINNEAS, who that's how we actually got to know Maggie, is through Reverb's work on Billie Eilish's tour. Please welcome Maggie Baird. Maggie, are you there?
Product placement. A Reverb reusable water bottle.
So, did I get caught holding a reusable water bottle? Wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
How are you doing,
Hello.
Maggie?
How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
I'm
strangely nervous.
What's that?
I said I'm strangely nervous to do something I do literally all day, every day.
I know. Well, I don't. For a lot of folks that have come on this show as guest chefs, this is the first time they've been on a cooking show. Of course, this is. I have to throw the air quotes up because it's definitely a pseudo cooking show. It's not. None of us are professional chefs, but we are professional activists and environmentalists, and we care a lot about that.
Yeah.
So really appreciate it.
And also, just for the record, most cooking shows, I believe, you have like a sous chef and a prep and a this and a that, and this is like. Oh, got all my stuff here together. It's good.
So as I mentioned, so we got to know each other through Reverb's work on Billie Eilish's tour, and it was really you're the reason why we were on the tour in the first place. I think we got connected through Coldplay's team.
Yeah.
And I guess you were talking to them about like, hey, we're trying to make our tour better than you know the norm, right? And
Sure.
we were thankfully introduced and. You know, I reached out to you and you immediately, I felt like we clicked right away. It was so clear that you care so much about the environment. And, you know, usually we're like, oh, let's dip a toe in, see what's happening. It was kind of the end of the year last year where the touring was coming to a close. And we're like, well, let's try a few things. You're like, let's do everything. We're like, all right, let's do it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, honestly, when I started going on tour with Billie, at first I was quite shocked. You know, there's so much waste. There's so much waste in most industries, to be honest. But you know, it's a hard industry. People traveling, it's such a rough. People don't know how hard touring is, but because of that, you know, a lot of the environmental stuff gets kind of pushed aside, and it was really shocking, you know. And so it was funny. I was asking like who I think I asked Hugh from Global Citizen, who I met, and then anyway my phone rang one day and I was in the living room and it said Chris Martin. I was like, oh, Chris Martin is calling me. But Chris Martin is the person who introduced us to you, and we were excited. It was so fun having you. I was doing my little blogs, going around the venues, showing all the Reverb stuff. You guys are amazing. I hope
Thank you. Yeah, well, we appreciate so much your support of all the work we're doing. And of course, we're really partnering on tour with Billie. And we were in the middle of just the beginning of the tour. When
it was so fun, too.
It was going great. So how's the transition been? Obviously, it was very sudden when everyone had to come off the road and go home and stay at home and be safe. How's the transition been for you and your whole family?
Well, it was super sudden. And, you know, we were so sad because we had the Reverb thing set up so great. We had head count registering people to vote, and we had this amazing show. And we had incredible vegan catering, by the way. We had a company called Eat Your Heart Out, and the catering was unbelievably good. So everything combined, you know, was just, you know, we came home, you know, at the time we were kind of relieved because it was getting kind of scary.
Yeah.
And we really were worried about Billie's fans, you know. So, you know, in the beginning, being home was I don't know, I think it was kind of nice to just be home, and then I started this organization, which my t-shirt is, Support and Feed, very quickly into the quarantine. So that sort of took over my life entirely, and many of our volunteers' lives. So that's been kind of a full-time job, and Billie and FINNEAS are recording and writing, but we miss being on tour. It takes being home this long to really miss it, but we really do miss it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, God, such a huge, just a crazy ride with everything that's been happening with Billie in the past 12, 18 months that I imagine part of you is like, ooh, it's nice for everybody to just pause for a moment and relax and not be so crazy at all times.
Yeah, it is nice. I mean, it's super nice to be with our dog, because we have two now. Billie has another dog that she adopted, but yeah, our dog is old, and it was hard to go away from her, so that's been extra nice being around our dog. But yeah, it's nice to take a little breath. Still missing it, but it's nice to be home, and it's nice to be doing Support and Feed, so that's filling the time in a good way.
I definitely want to talk about Support and Feed, but I also want to acknowledge that we're starting. There is a recipe that we should probably start to dig into, and then we'll definitely get into Support and Feed and veganism and everything. This is a vegan recipe. We actually had a vegan recipe last quarantine kitchen as well, so we're excited to have this one. This is butterscotch banana pecan French toast, which is this came up because this is your favorite breakfast item?
No, you know how it came up? Because I'm putting in here, by the way, 1.5 cups of alternative milk. This milk is a combo. I pour all kinds of different milks: almond milk, coconut milk, oat milk, flax milk. I get them in, or I make them, and then I pour them in these. That way it doesn't take up so much room in my fridge. Mm-hmm. And also, the reason I use so many milks is because it doesn't tax the planet as much if you spread out your plants that you're using. So that's the idea. But you know what? I was on a Zoom meeting for our volunteers for Support and Feed, and the icebreaker question was, what's your favorite breakfast? And an amazing number of people said French toast. And so I was like, well, is vegan French toast? So I was like, I'll teach you how to make vegan French toast. And then right then we were like, oh, I'll do that on Quarantine Kitchen. So it's really just because so many people love French toast, and it's so easy.
Can't wait to learn it.
I'm going to show you. Okay, so that was my milk in my little Pyrex. This I'm going to add. This is the secret ingredient. This is ground chia seed. So chia seed, as you know, starts out like this, and you make chia seed pudding out of this, etc. For this, you want to grind it. I ground it in my Vitamix blender, which is one of the greatest purchases of my life. So. Actually, it wasn't a purchase. It was a gift. It was a Christmas present. So I add the ground chia seed, and what else? Where's my vanilla? Oh, here. I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. The secret is the cap is a 1/2 teaspoon. So you don't actually need a teaspoon. I had to figure out all these measurements for this because I do not usually use recipes, to be honest. I usually just make it up. So I had to figure it out. So I think I got pretty close. Cinnamon. I'm going to put in a 1/2 teaspoon. But, I really believe in being flexible when you cook. A little bit of that, a little bit of this. Not suggesting you taste this, but normally I would suggest you taste things and see if you like it. Okay, I've got a little tiny whisk. So I'm going to whisk it up. So the thing is, the chia seeds, there's lots of substitutes for eggs. And depending on what you're making, you want a different substitute. So, like, for example, in my brownies, I use sweet potatoes. In this, I use chia seed. In some things, I use flax seed. Sometimes I use aquafaba, which is garbanzo bean water. Yep. But it really depends on the item. But in this, the chia seed works really good.
And it gives it that. So this is what basically substitutes for what would be an egg. You're not doing it vegan.
Yeah, I probably should have done this a little sooner because it's actually better if it sits for like 15 minutes. So I'll leave this and we'll start our butterscotch first. Oh, I want to show you something about my bread too. All right, my husband, Patrick, has a bread machine and he makes bread almost every night. That sounds really good, except Billie and I can't eat regular bread, so it's just torture. But
so it's just Patrick and FINNEAS that are just chowing on bread all the time.
Yeah. Phineas doesn't even live here anymore. So it's just Patrick. And it's like this beautiful loaf of bread comes out. It's just like, it's torture. But we freeze the bread because it's only him eating it. So he freezes half of it. And freezing bread is actually kind of great for French toast because it comes out, it's actually a little bit firmer when you make it. I also have gluten-free bread for me and Billy. Okay. And I love this. This is like Little Northern Bakehouse, I think it's called. Okay. Really good. This recipe works great with gluten-free bread. But while this sits, let's do a little bit of the bananas. So the topping could not be easier. I have Earth Balance. I also have this. Oh, this is that Mykonos. You know, is that the way you say it? Mykonos?
Yeah.
Holy cow. This stuff is so good.
I know the Earth Balance, but I don't know Mykonos. So that's but they're both butter substitutes?
Yeah, I'm going to show you the package. Hold on, I'm still here.
Well, I'm going to take this moment. For those of you who are following along right now, we do have a link to the recipe on Reverb's Facebook page. You could also go to reverb.org/quarantine kitchen, where you can follow along and see the recipe here. This video will live there as well. So if you want to make this recipe tomorrow morning for breakfast or any morning, you can go to reverb.org/quarantine kitchen and find this episode and others.
All right, this is Myokos. So good. And you know what? I would use either the Earth Balance or the Myokos. I think for the topping, the butterscotch stuff, I'm going to use this. It's about 2 tablespoons. Once again, I don't really measure stuff, so just cook up my feel. Okay, are we ready to get to the exciting part?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Should we get a close up of something
okay.
that is exciting?
All right. So in my whole life, I've never had a new stove. And I've had really ancient appliances. And for the first time ever, we bought a new stove. And we bought this stove, and it's so exciting. It's an electric oven, 2 ovens. And I know everyone's like, oh, gas, like that's the standard for cooking. Well, no, this is so awesome. We happen to have solar on our house, which we got in 2012, which was like a peak life experience for me. Oh, shoot, I just forgot some ingredient for the French toast. This is a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. And
okay.
Sorry, I'm wandering back. This is a salt, and I put it in the name of the recipe, and it smells like eggs. It's really sulfury.
Is that a point?
It smells just like eggs, and it's completely optional. Use it or use regular. It doesn't matter. Whoa, it smells just like an egg. I got one bag, I think I got 5 years ago, and I'm still using it. Kalanamek salt. Okay. So if you like things that smell like eggs. So I just added some nutritional yeast and the salt to my chia seed batter. All right, so here's my amazing stove. And the reason it's cool is an induction stove. So what's amazing, first of all, it's electric and we have solar. So we're not using gas, so it's better for the environment, which is why we did it. And then absolutely makes a huge difference. But people say, oh, you got to have gas because it's so fast. Well, this sucker is so fast. It's actually so fast you have to be kind of careful. So I would never put it on high unless I was going to boil water, because it'll boil water like that.
Right.
So I'll put it on low. I'm having to learn to put it on low. I think you could probably almost hear it. If I put it on high, it's like you start to hear almost instantly.
Right. And it's magnetic, right?
It's magnetic. So what's heating up is the pan, not the burner. The pan is heating up. I have my cast iron on it, and I'll use this. So it's super, super fast and amazing. And if you're thinking of getting a new stove, I highly recommend that you get an induction stove. Okay, I'm going to put my apron on because I get messy, and this will be better. So you can see, that's too high. I'm going to turn it way down. It's so fast. You'd never get that with a regular gas stove. So I'm going to turn it way down, and I'm even going to take it off for 2 seconds while I slice up my bananas. I just got so excited about my stove, I had to show you. So the bananas, I'm just going to peel them. I don't need to show you that, really. I could have prepped this, but then I'd have brown bananas. So all obviously my peels are going to go in the compost bin. In LA, we're super lucky because if you don't have a compost bin, you can put your banana peels or all your compost, your green stuff in the green bin, and they'll pick it up with the yard waste.
Oh, that's nice. So it's a city pickup. That's great.
It's a city pickup. So if you can't bear to have a compost bin for whatever reason, I will move these over to the compost bin.
And Maggie, there are actually some public. I can see people's questions and comments. We do have one, if you don't mind, from Aurora. Her question is, "What's your favorite vegan dish?"
Oh, that's hard. Also, I just want to show you. You take your towel and you tuck it in your apron.
Ooh, yeah.
My favorite vegan dish. Wow, it's so hard. There's so many good things. It's very hard for me to pick a favorite. I love soup. That's so boring. I just love all kinds of.
Your favorite is your favorite.
I love soup. I feel like if I had to pick one food to eat forever, I'd just pick soup, and it would just be different kinds of soup. So that maybe doesn't count. I love soup though. Gosh, this is so embarrassing. I love yogurt.
That's not embarrassing.
Those are not even. I've got some vegan yogurt here too. All right, so I've got my bananas here. I don't know if you can even see that. And so I'm going to go back to my beautiful stove here. Turn it back on.
So the goal with that butter is just to melt it, right? You're not trying to brown it.
All I did was melt it. And then this is coconut brown sugar. If you don't have coconut brown sugar, you could use regular brown sugar. But coconut brown sugar is super tasty and a little bit healthier. And all I'm going to do is just let it dissolve. Super easy. It'll just, I just got to watch my temperature here. Letting my brown sugar dissolve. Now, because I don't always cook with recipes, if you guys weren't here, I might go like, I'm going to add a little almond milk to that, or I'm going to add a little whatever to that. And I might do that. I might just go, maybe a little bit more of this Milkos butter. And
be free. This is an art. Do your thing.
What?
Be free. This is an art form. Do whatever you want.
You got to cook really. You can't just be married to a thing. And I'm going to add my vanilla. Once again, I'm not going to measure it because I'm old enough that I know how much it is. So this is so yummy looking, right? That's all there is to it. And then I'm just going to put in these bananas. I'm going to put Oh yeah, right? You're not trying to like overcook these. You just try to get them coated with the yummy coconut brown sugar. Oh yeah, so good. Can you guys see this?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Looks so good, right?
Yeah.
These bananas are so pretty big, so I think 3 is plenty. And you just kind of be a little bit gentle with them. And oh yeah, look how good that is.
That looks great.
Now, I think I put in the recipe that I use salted chopped pecans. These are actually not salted, but depending on whether you use the Milkos or the Earth Balance is all salty. So if I didn't use the Earth Balance, which I didn't in this case, I think I would add a little tiny bit of salt.
Okay.
Not a ton, but salt brings out it's a great complement to the sweet. So that's kind of that. Ooh.
Looking good.
It'll be easier to kind of put it on our French toast. I'm going to add some maple syrup. A little bit of maple syrup. Just kind of thin it out and get it all coated a little bit. Oh, look at that. I just got salt all over my cooktop. This is the other genius thing about this cooktop. Whoa, look at that. I can just clean it. So
right, yeah, you don't have to get into the grill like that. Totally. That's great.
I think I just poured that on the floor. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to just let that sit while I now do the French toast. I'm going to just turn it off. Actually, I have a warming burner there, but I think this will be fine. All right, now back to our French toast. Oh, I just lost my big image. I don't know how I did that, but that's okay.
Yep,
okay, so here's my bread. Oh, first I got to turn up my my griddle. So I do use a griddle, and once again, I'm going to go to low to medium here. and heat that up. And in this case, I will use my earth balance, and I'll put a little bit of earth balance on here. I love having a griddle. I love having a 2-burner griddle. So awesome.
Yeah, it's gotta be nice. Does it take a while to heat that one up, or is it okay?
Oh no, it'll heat up so fast. But we can chat. All I'm going to do is dip my bread into the batter, kind of scrape it off, and then cook it. And try not to cook it too high, too fast. I love this griddle. I just got this griddle because you do have to have something that's magnetic. So I had to get rid of some of my other stuff. So I'm just going to take the bread. This is, you know what? Here's a little tip. If you want to do gluten-free, do the gluten-free first. If you have people who are super sensitive to it. Also, you will notice I am using my hands. That's just part of cooking. You have to use your hands. So clean your hands, wash your hands a lot. So you can see I'm just kind of dipping it in.
Yeah.
Very simple. Just like any French toast you would do ever. And I'm trying to act like I'm not going to use my hands, but in real life I'm just going to do it the way I do it.
The way you do it.
In real life, I will just do that. You see? Okay. There we go. Gluten-free first. Gluten-free so I can actually eat it in front of you. And you know what? Sometimes with French toast, people soak it a long time. Really depends on your bread, how soft it is. I don't like to soak it too long. It's really just about, getting it kind of coated evenly. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's going to be so good. You really can't believe how it tastes exactly the same. I mean, not that I really remember. I haven't eaten eggs in decades. Here's Patrick's torture bread. Patrick's evil bread.
Patrick needs to join us for another episode so he can show us how to make his bread.
Oh gosh, you know what? He literally makes it like every other day, and it's a bread machine. Did I say that?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Oh, okay. Come on. Give him some credit. He's making bread every day.
Are you kidding me? He's making bread that I can't eat every day.
I know, that's fair.
Okay, so I'm making this. Now, I made enough batter here, so I think this would easily make 6 pieces of French toast. I'm going to keep them like that just so we can chat, give them a little room. I'd say, watch your temperature. I'm new to the stove a little bit, so I have to be a little daring, but a little careful. So I'm just going to go up a little higher than medium. See, now the only thing is there's no fire, right? The only thing that's hot is the pan.
Right, so it's hard to tell, right?
Yeah, but you can hear it. So that's kind of that. That's the whole recipe. When I look at this now and like the maple syrup made a little thinner, I might cook it down a little bit, and just let a little bit of that boil off. Or I might leave it. Just depends on my audience.
Nice. Well, is this a natural time to just chat for us while we're doing this?
Yeah.
I'd love to get into support and feed and talk more about what you've developed. And we want to talk about the plant-based party this weekend. But let's talk about support and feed first.
Okay. Support and Feed is an organization that we started really early on in the quarantine. We have 3 large missions. One is to feed people in need, and 2 is to support small businesses, in particular plant-based restaurants, and that means everything to do with them, the staff, the farmers, the pickers, everyone involved in making a restaurant, because it's such an important part of our community. Yeah. And the 3rd and overarching mission is to help the planet, because we know that plant-based eating is one of the most important things you can do to combat climate crisis. So what we do is we have a website, and you can go there and make a donation, and all the donations go to providing food for communities in need, particularly communities that are in food apartheid or nutrition deserts. We try to serve communities that don't have access to a lot of fresh fruit or fresh produce and maybe healthier food options. So we're really trying to attach ourselves to some amazing organizations that already exist and are doing great work. So, for example, right now we're feeding the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Los Angeles 5 days a week for 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was thanks to a donation from Interscope and Darkroom. And we get lots of donations from, $5 to however much. And every time someone donates, that is going to go right to getting a meal to somebody. It's like if you were imagining, that you see somebody, you think, I wish I could buy somebody a meal. Well, you can. You just donate to Support and Feed, and you are just literally buying someone a meal. And it's a healthy, plant-based meal. We have an education component. We're trying to reach young people, et cetera, expose them to the deliciousness of plant-based eating and the nutritional aspect of it. And, helping people kind of grow up in a world where they see that choice is not only tasty, but, better for the planet, better for the world. So that's what Support and Feed does. And we're in Los Angeles, New York, and Philadelphia. We have an army of volunteers. You can look at our website. We have people just volunteering like crazy. It's super rewarding. I love what people say, like, oh, I donate, $10, and the next day I see my burrito going out. So it's a real intersectional charity organization, and I hope people will check it out. Support and Feed.
Definitely. The URL is right at the bottom of the screen right there, so you can check it out. And
Please do.
Yeah, what a great idea. And I know, I follow you on Instagram, and you are constantly making deliveries, and you have a bunch of volunteers with you. It's really incredible work that you're doing, Maggie. So thanks for all
I'll
that
tell
you
you
do.
I'll tell you the truth. A lot of what I do and a lot of what our primary volunteer team is, we're on Zoom meetings and phone calls and organizing and doing all the backside arrangement. Going out on deliveries is kind of the fun part. So I'm always like, I'll do that delivery. And then sometimes our team is like, no, Maggie, you can't. Stay home, do the other part. But we have so many wonderful people on all sides. So you can see this is starting to get brown just a little bit. And I'm going to, it's kind of a timing thing. You want it to be a little bit moist. You don't want it to be dried out and hard. But you can see this is so fiery. If I turn it down, it'll quickly. I feel like I'm doing an ad for this induction.
You kind of are, but that's all good. You're excited about it. Why not?
Is that your phone?
I hope not.
Oh, it's Phineas. That's so weird. I'm getting a call on my computer. Bye, Phineas. I didn't even know that was possible. Anyway, so that's Support and Feed. Do you want me to talk about the plant-based party?
I definitely want to talk about plant-based party, but before we get into that, I do want to talk about Clif Bar because it relates to Support and Feed for this episode. So every episode, Clif Bar is a partner of this series, Quarantine Kitchen. And for every episode, the guest chef gets to choose where 1,000 Clif Bars are going to be donated to feed hungry families in need. And so for this episode, you chose, of course, Support and Feed.
Yes, of course we did. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thanks to Clif Bar for doing that. It's actually part of, they've already delivered 7 million Clif Bars to hungry folks. And then as a new commitment this summer, they added another 7 million bars. And so as part of that second 7 million for a total of 14 million Clif Bars, they're doing 1,000 Clif Bars per episode with us.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm sure they're going to do the vegan ones for Support and Feed, which I really appreciate. I love Clif Bars. That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for the work you're doing. Now let's talk about plant-based party because that's coming right up. It's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow, right? This is the official pre-party, right? Is this the pre-party? Let's go.
Well, you could make this for plant-based party.
True.
You can make your dish or you can buy your dish. So the idea behind plant-based party is, I gotta be careful. I'm at the crucial stage here, so I gotta flip all these. Ooh, they look so good, so delicious. So plant-based party, the premise is that we're throwing a party, and all you need to do to come to the party is order a plant-based meal from a restaurant, or make one yourself and post a photo of it with #plant-based-party. What that does is it not only spreads the word about the importance of plant-based eating and hopefully helps plant-based restaurants and food all over the country and the world, but also it unlocks a donation because we have some sponsors, Gardein, Pila, and Chow Now, and they are going to make a donation for matching, if we get enough hashtags, and that will help us feed more children. So it's like a perfect cycle. You order the plant-based food or you make the plant-based food, and then we end up being able to give plant-based food to children and families. So it's a no-lose thing. So if you could share that would be great. This is basically done. This one needs a second.
Right. And definitely share that. It's huge. And actually, for this one, thanks to you, Maggie, you've included Reverb in this as well. So we'll benefit as well on the work that we're doing during this non-touring time.
Yeah, that's why I should have said that. Yeah, Reverb is our partner in this. So they'll be getting a donation too, beyond the beautiful water bottles that are for sale. Yeah, we wanted to include, this is plant-based party for the planet is what it really is. And so we're trying to promote everything to help with the climate crisis. And of course, Reverb is a huge part of that. So hence the partnership. So these are looking perfect. So I am going to, I'm going to turn them off. And when you're ready, we can try them.
I would love that. That's kind of the theme of how we try to wrap every show, is to have that vicarious bite, because of course we don't have the ability to taste it right now unless you're cooking long. And I definitely encourage, I'm going to try this tomorrow morning for sure.
Oh, it's so good. It's so easy. Now I will say also that I added the maple syrup to this. If you don't want to add the maple syrup, it'll be like thicker, and I'm so embarrassed, but I was trying it because I made it up long ago, but I hadn't gotten the numbers of the ingredients. So I was trying it, and then I had the bananas and the butterscotch. I literally ate the entire thing. No French toast, mind you. So, but you can vary the syrup or just leave the syrup out. I'm going to plate it like a restaurant. Not really. And I'm going to use a little bit more of this Yokos on it, because that's what you do, right? And then, so good. I want to spread that around and make sure this is all off. Turn off.
Can we get a nice close-up view? Can you bring that right to the camera so you can see what? Oh yeah, that looks great.
Okay, it's so good. Mm-hmm. Look at that. You cannot tell the difference, right?
Not at all.
This French toast with eggs, and you can't taste the difference either. And listen, the nutritional yeast, the salt, the eggy, smelly salt. They help, but they're not that important. Don't be afraid to make it because you don't have those things.
Right.
All right, here we go. I've got a dog under my feet here now.
Your dog definitely figured out that you're done cooking this. And sounds like your dog wants some.
He disappeared. He's like, I heard the breakfast is ready. Okay. But by the way, I wouldn't just make this for breakfast. I think you could easily just call this dessert. Okay, come on, right?
Oh man, come on. That's torture.
I know, it's so good. I should get Patrick in here.
Wow. Okay. That looks unbelievable.
You got to make this. It's so good. Okay.
Check it on a plate.
I need a fork. Oh, I used my fork on my thing. Hold on.
That's we could just snarf it. It's all right. There's no shame. Just go right at it.
Okay. It may be hot. So good. Okay. The banana, that's pretty hot though. I'm gonna scald my mouth. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna fry myself here.
Singer-songwriter Maggie Baird burns her mouth and can no longer sing.
Can no longer speak. It was worth it though. Reverb is so important. So good. Oh my gosh, so good.
So awesome. All right, so there it is. Vegan.
I will say this. I would maybe reduce the syrup. Maybe only a quarter cup. That's just me. Okay.
That's so awesome. Vegan butterscotch banana pecan French toast. Say that 7 times fast.
I'm not even going to say it once.
Looks amazing. Maggie Baird, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for all the passion that you have for the environment and the work that you're doing with Support and Feed. And thanks for partnering with us on Billie's tour. And just for everything that you do and care about. You're challenging us every day. I really enjoy our relationship where what about this? What about the other thing? What about
I know I'm so annoying. I think everybody on Billie's team is like, oh no, what is she gonna say now?
No, it's great, because that's exactly what we need. We want, like, you're looking through that lens of sustainability and looking at everything around you and how can we make it better? And that's exactly the partner we want. So I really, really appreciate that. And thanks for doing this cooking show. It was a wonderful thing to do. I'm really excited about the plant-based party. Everyone check that out. Cook a vegan meal, order a vegan meal, take a picture, hashtag it. It supports Support and Feed and Reverb this week. So please be a part of that. Thanks to Clif Bar. Thanks to Oxfam. If you are interested in more about sustainable eating, they have a guide as well. If you just go to oxfam.org, I believe is the URL. I'm looking at my notes right now. It is oxfamamerica.org. Eat for Good is the name of their program, and they have a bunch of guides and tips and other recipes. If you're just tuning in now to Quarantine Kitchen, you want to see other episodes or the beginning of this one and all the way through, reverb.org/quarantine kitchen. Maggie Baird, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you soon. We'll be back on tour someday.
Absolutely. Hopefully sooner than later. Can't wait.
But in the meantime, we'll do some more cool things. Thank you.
I know.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everyone.